What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of BAM GPG. And Bryson, today we're going to do something kind of fun. We're going to do, it's always a tough one. We're going to do start, bench, cut, and we're going to do a Packer edition here.
Yeah.
All right. So there's no takes that are going to be too hot here. Let's go ahead and get into it here, Bryson. So the first one that I have here, we're going to do all-time Packer legends, start, bench, cut. You're going to have Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, or Bart Starr. Who are you starting? Who are you benching? Who are you cutting?
Okay. Sorry, but Bart Starr, you're getting cut.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers has to get started.
Okay. So we're starting Rodgers, we're cutting Starr, and we're benching Favre for you. You know, so I'm going to go the same route as that one too, and I apologize to the Bart Starr fan base here. I understand, what he did for the Packers, won the first two Super Bowls for us. Get that. But and it's a different time. I understand that completely too. The game's totally evolved since then. But when you look at the talent alone, the arm talent alone, you can't compare what Starr was doing to what an Aaron Rodgers did, what a Brett Favre did. There's just really no true comparison. And again, understand it's a different game, it's a different time. But for the sake of just raw arm talent, absolutely Aaron Rodgers, starting him 7 days a week. I'm going to put Brett Favre right on the bench, and we are cutting Starr. Again, tough take. I understand there's a lot of Starr fans, but that is the way we're rolling with that one. So wide receiver room here, Bryson. It's going to be a tough one. Yeah, Donald Driver, Jordy Nelson, or Davante Adams. Start, bench, cut. So I will take this one first.
Okay.
So I loved Jordy Nelson, Donald Driver, loved Donald Driver, and I love Davante Adams, right? But if I'm going off a talent standpoint alone, just the route running abilities by Davante Adams, I understand, early in his career didn't have the most sure hands, but I'm going to take Davante Adams. We're going to start Davante Adams. Again, it's another tough one, but I'm going to bench Jordy, and unfortunately, I love Donald Driver. I love his story, how he came up, but we're going to have to cut Donald Driver here.
Okay, so I'm going to bench Davante.
All right, so you're benching Davante.
I'm going to start Donald Driver.
So you're starting Donald Driver.
Cutting Jordy Nelson.
And we're cutting White Lightning Jordy Nelson. All right, so Jordy has been cut. Now, let's sort of a little wild card one for the wide receiver room here. All right, Randall Cobb, Greg Jennings, James Jones. Again, I'll start with this one. Greg Jennings, no doubt about it. I'm starting Greg Jennings. Helped us win the Super Bowl with Rodgers. Phenomenal talent, right? Love Greg Jennings. Got a little interesting there towards the end with him, but I like Greg Jennings. I'm going to bench Randall Cobb, and I'm going to cut James Jones.
I'm going to go the same as you.
Yeah, easy enough. All right, so let's get in some defensive dogs here, Bryson. Start, bench, cut. This is going to be even tougher, okay? All right, so we got Clay Matthews, Charles Woodson, and let's throw in Reggie White.
Dumb Reggie.
Absolutely.
Benching Clay Woodson.
Yeah, I think that's the only way to do it. Yeah, absolutely. Reggie White, no brainer. Starting Reggie White. I'm going to bench Clay Matthews. Love Charles Woodson. But, assuming they're healthy, nobody was close to, other than Reggie White, what Clay Matthews was able to do coming off the edge there. Absolutely. Clay Matthews. Again, nothing against Charles Woodson. Love Charles Woodson. Like kind of a chaos round here, Bryson. This will be a fun one. All right, so this is tailgate edition here. What are you eating? Bratwurst, cheese curds, or a butter burger?
I'm starting the butter burger.
Starting the butter burger.
I like burgers, okay?
Okay.
I'm benching cheese curds, and then bratwurst, you gotta go.
Throwing the bratwurst. See, I'm going the other way here. I love burgers, but I'm going with the bratwurst. We're starting the bratwurst. Tailgate, absolutely bratwurst. And then this is a tough one, but I'm going to go with cheese curds, and I'm going to have to cut the butter burger for the tailgate. All right, now here's the painful one here. This is going to have a lot of people divided here, Bryson. Start, bench, cut. Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love.
Okay. So, oh God.
It's a tough one.
I feel like you gotta.
And it's hard not to buy into the recency bias, right? Because we're all on board the Love train at this point. But
I feel like I have to cut him for right now.
yep, okay.
Like,
so we're cutting Love.
In the future, might pass. He's gonna pass Brett Favre, and he might pass Rodgers.
Rodgers is going to be a tall task to pass. I agree. So who we starting? Rodgers or Favre?
Rodgers.
Rodgers. So we're benching Favre. So I'm going the same way. Absolutely. Been nobody. There's hasn't been a better thrower of the football, in my opinion, than Aaron Rodgers. Certainly nobody that can protect the ball and with his accuracy. Starting Rodgers. Grew up on Favre. Love Favre. I'm benching him. And again, this isn't a knock on Jordan Love. We just got to see a little more into his career, right? He's year, 3? Going into year 3 as being the starter for Green Bay. So we will withhold on him, but certainly he could make his way up on that list. Absolutely. So let's do coaching edition here, Bryson. Matt LaFleur, Mike Holmgren, Vince Lombardi. Who we starting? Who we cutting? And who are we benching?
I have to start Vince Lombardi. It's not
Okay.
even an option.
Yeah. And then who are we benching? Mike Holmgren or Matt LaFleur?
Matt LaFleur.
We're benching LaFleur and cutting Holmgren. Oh, see, I'm on board with you with Lombardi. We're starting Lombardi. Here's where I disagree. I'm starting or benching Mike Holmgren simply because of the fact Matt LaFleur hasn't won a Super Bowl. He hasn't led us to a Super Bowl. Came close several times, but he hasn't gotten over there yet. And Mike Holmgren won Super Bowl 31 with Favre. Got back the next year. We lost to Denver, but he's been there. He's won one. Matt LaFleur hasn't. So I am cutting Matt LaFleur. And again, this could change here in a few years, and I absolutely hope it does here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And let's do a recent one here. So let's do our wide receiver room here real quick, Bryson.
All
right. So Romeo Doubs, Jayden Reed, and let's throw in 2 more. So Romeo Doubs, Jayden Reed, Matthew Golden, and Christian Watson.
Oh gosh.
This is a tough one.
So is it start, bench, cut, trade?
Start, bench, cut. The other 2 get cut.
Okay.
Who we starting?
So
You want me to take this one?
I feel like we gotta start Christian.
So we're starting Christian Watson. Who we benching?
Maybe Matthew Golden.
Matthew Golden. We're
Cutting the other 2.
and we're cutting the other 2. Okay. So I am going to go the route of I am going to start Romeo Doubs. I am going to bench. This is a tough one because I haven't seen him play yet. And Jayden Reed has that potential. But I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to throw Golden. I'm going to bench Golden. I'm cutting Jayden Reed and I'm cutting Christian Watson.
How could you cut Christian Watson?
You know, I love Watson. None of the receivers in our room have his freak athletic ability to where he can go up and high point the ball. And with his speed, he's absolutely a downfield threat. But I got to cut Christian Watson. He doesn't have the most sure hands. As I mentioned previously, I like consistency out of our wide receivers. Romeo Doubs, Mr. Consistent. And I got high hopes for Matthew Golden. So until he proves me otherwise, I'm going to bench him over the other 2. Absolutely. So that was our start, bench, cut. So
I got one for you guys in the comments.
okay. What do you got for him here?
So this is sort of a defense one. Clinton defense.
Okay.
You got X-Man. I know he's not on the Packers anymore, but you got Jair. X-Man Jair.
Okay. So X-Man, Jair, and let's throw a former Packer, Charles Woodson.
Okay.
So you got a safety and 2 corners. Let's do this one. Who you starting, who you benching, who you cutting out of that group?
I gotta start X-Man.
Okay. Xavier McKinney. We're starting him.
He's gonna be so good for the next couple seasons.
Okay. And who are we benching? Who are we cutting out of that group?
Charles Woodson we're benching, and I love Jair, but he just got hurt too much.
Okay. So we're cutting Jair. I disagree with your take on that one. I am starting Charles Woodson. Absolutely. Again, 7 days a week, I'm starting Charles Woodson. Now, between Xavier McKinney and Jair Alexander, it's unfortunate we didn't see Jair a lot on the field. He had a lot of potential, didn't show a lot because he wasn't on the field a lot. So I'm taking Xavier McKinney. I'm gonna bench him, and I'm gonna do what the Packers did. I'm gonna cut Jair in that situation. So again, yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. Follow along with us. Let us know who you would have start, who you would have cut, who you would have benched. Drop them if you have a different list. Drop in the comments there. Let's debate on it here. So again, Bryson, it's always
Turn the comments into a debate.
there we go. And as always,
It's Go Pack Go.